In the last clip, I walked you through handling events for nested child and parent components. And that was when no data needs to be passed from the child to the parent. And it's a simple example. In this clip, I will take that example further by showing you in a demo how to pass data in an event. To help keep this demo as clear as possible and give you a way to compare the different ways of handling events, I'm going to actually create a new child component, which I can do by going back up here to LWC, right-clicking, selecting Create Lightning Web Component, and this time I'm going to name it Child2, just to distinguish it from the first one, and then hit Enter and choose the default directory. I will begin by pasting in the HTML markup that I need for this component. And here you can see that I'm including a Lightning input component that can be used to enter a number, and below that is a Lightning button. I will then switch to the JavaScript controller for this component and then paste in the JavaScript that I need for now. And here you can see I have two handler functions. Handle number change is triggered whenever a user changes a value in that Lightning input component. And all it does is assign the value entered to a variable named event number. The custom event is not created until the user clicks the Lightning button, but notice that the code includes a second property here called detail. Since the detail property is optional, by default it is set to null, but as you see here, I am using it to pass in the value assigned to that event number variable. Okay, now I'm going to switch back to the HTML for that parent component, and right below the Lightning layout item for the first one that's encapsulated in it, I'm going to add another Lightning layout item that'll have that second child component that I just created. And the code that I just added is very similar to the code used to nest the first child. The differences are the name of the child component, along with the variable name used for the value of the formatted text, and finally, the name of both the event and the corresponding handler. These must be unique since they will be handled by the same parent, or in this case, you can kind of think of it as a container component. To make all of this work together, I will also need to add some code to the JavaScript controller for the parent. I can go back to that JavaScript and then just add right below here another new variable name called event name, and of course a new handler for that handle button clicked to event. And the only thing left to do now is just save all my code and then push it using the command palette to the default Scratch.org. Since I already have that Scratch.org open in a browser tab, I can just return to it and then do a refresh to see that my changes have been reflected. And once it renders, you can see I now have two components within this parent component. And to ensure that nothing broke, I'm going to go ahead and still click that Fire Event from Simple Child to show that it is still working exactly as I expected. So far, so good. And I will do the same thing for the second complex child component, but notice first that I have a field here to enter the number, and in that field is a placeholder value of 2. I know it is a placeholder and not an actual value because it is grayed out, but I will enter a number here, let's say 3, just to show you that it's different, and then click the Fire Event from Complex Child. And there you go. I now get a message that tells me that that Child 2 button was clicked, and that it also shows me that number that was entered, which was 3. And I now want to ask you a question. What do you think would need to happen in order for me to pass multiple data field values from that second child to the parent? Any ideas? If you're not sure, stay tuned because I will be covering it in the next clip.